So as we know, brain disorders such as major depression are a leading cause of disability worldwide. But unfortunately, our current therapies fail millions of patients. So the question is, what do we do for these patients? Now, based on the understanding that these disorders are actually signs of abnormal activity patterns across large-scale brain networks, one idea that we're working on is to try to directly decode and regulate these abnormal activity patterns. So these are the activity patterns that we record in intracranial EEG electrodes from human patients. You can see that these patterns are complex, spatiotemporal patterns that are very noisy. So what we envision in my lab is a system that would model these complex patterns, decode from them an underlying state of the brain, let's say mood in depression, and then use that as feedback within a controller that would then adjust the therapy parameters, let's say neuromodulation, frequency, and amplitude in order to take the brain to a healthy target state. Now, this is an example of a closed-loop control system, but unfortunately, it's very difficult to build these systems for the brain. So what we're doing in my lab is to try to realize these systems by addressing multiple challenges. The first challenge, of course, is to build a decoder. So back in 2018, we developed dynamical system models that could decode mood variations as related to depression and anxiety from human brain activity for the first time. So this was very exciting. But in order to make these translate, we are currently working on making them much more accurate and robust by tapping into the power of AI. We're developing brain foundation models that can extract low-dimensional, yet semantic representations from these complex activity patterns, such that downstream we can use them for mood classification and other mental state decoding. So this starts to address the first challenge. But unfortunately, that's not enough. Because even if I can decode your mood perfectly, I still don't know how to stimulate your brain to regulate that. So what we need to do next is to develop this feedback controller. And to do this, we're developing models that can describe the effect of stimulation input on brain activity and showing that they can successfully predict how changing neuromodulation would change brain activity and the underlying mental state. But so far, some of these models we've kept linear because linear models are great for building real-time closed-loop systems. But of course, there's no linearity in the brain. So currently, what we're doing is developing AI architectures that can capture nonlinearity, yet at the same time run in real time by combining neural networks with stochastic state space models. Now, finally, one major challenge that we are currently addressing is that the brain activity patterns we record do not just relate to the mental or behavioral state that I'm interested in decoding or studying. So let's say you want to decode my mood. I'm also moving my arm, I'm talking to you, maybe I'm hungry. So we've been developing machine learning algorithms that can dissociate those brain states that relate to a specific behavior of interest. We've been incorporating the effect of inputs within these models. And recently, we've developed an AI framework for brain and behavior modeling that can not only do this disentanglement, but significantly improve the decoding of behavioral state. And we are making all of these technologies multimodal. Whether you're talking about electrophysiology, neuroimaging, physiological monitoring, we're fusing multiple modalities to get the best readout. We're also looking at multiple modalities of writing, electrical, optogenetic, focused ultrasound, or even pharmacological intervention. And because these technologies are multimodal, we're hoping that they can seamlessly extend across a variety of hardware devices, as well as a variety of brain disorders, whether you're talking about mood disorders, or chronic pain, or OCD, or movement disorder, ALS, or paralysis. So at the end of the day, our vision is to develop an AI-based system that not only extracts mental states from human brain networks, but actually goes beyond that and regulate these states towards potentially transformative therapies for neurological and neuropsychiatric disorders. Thank you very much.